So I was reading Romans 9:30 through 33, and really just stood out to me what God was talking about on like faith, basically relationship with God, just how simple it is in this passage. And I just wanted to share it. And so it said, what does all this mean? He's talking about everything else above. He says, even though the Gentiles were not trying to follow God's standard, they were made right with God. And it was by faith that this took place. But the people of Israel, God's own people, who tried so hard to get right with God, keyword, try so hard, keywords, matter of fact, they try so hard to get right with God. How? By keeping the law. Never succeeded. Why not? Because they were trying to get right with God by keeping the law instead of trusting in Him. Instead of by trusting in Him, they stumble over the great rock in their path. God warned them of this in the scripture when He said, I am placing a stone in Jerusalem that makes people stumble, a rock that makes them fall, but anyone who trusts in Him will never be disgraced. And I mean, it's clear that's what it's saying. The Gentiles, and that can be us, we can be included in Gentiles if you want to. But the Gentiles, those who didn't have the law, those who didn't have, a box to check off like the Israelites, they were not, like the Bible said, they were not trying to follow God's standard in the sense of they were not trying to check off a box to make sure, this happened or they had a right relationship with God. They just simply trusted in Jesus to make them right. They simply just trusted, right? But the mistake that the Israelites they had, like I said, they tried so hard. And we have to understand that it is not by man's power, man's might, never was, never will be. It's not about us trying so hard that we are made right with God. It's not about us trying so hard that things happen in our life. It's not about us trying so hard that fruit is produced in our life. Jesus tells us, He didn't say try hard and you will produce fruit. No, He just told us to be connected to the vine. He said we are the branches. And He just tells us to be connected to Him. And then from that, life will flow. From that, fruits will come about. It's not by trying so hard, singling this out. Hey, I got kindness, I got patience, I got blah blah, whatever it is. It's not by that. What the Gentiles had was faith. What the Israelites had was the law. Not that the law is bad, like Romans tell us the law is not bad, it point out our sin, but the law cannot make us right with God. Even from the beginning in Genesis, when it came to Abraham's son, right? God promised Abraham a son. But Abraham, in his own strength and man's power and man's, might, went out and tried to conceive a child with the maid. And he did conceive a child, but God rejected that child and kept the promised child. That's what basically faith is. Faith is believing that God, not you, not anybody else, but believing God, that He will bring out His promises for your life. He will bring out the fruit in your life. And the Bible tells us that it is God, it is Jesus Christ who started our faith, and it's Jesus Christ who will take us to the Father, who will end that faith on this earth. It's not by man's might or man's power. It's not by keeping the law. It's not by trusting in your works. It's not by trusting what you can do, what you haven't done, how long you read the Bible, how many times you go to church. It's not by any of that, but it's simply by trusting in Jesus. And right here it says, I am placing a stone in Jerusalem that makes people stumble. Not that God intentionally said, okay, I'm going to place something in people's way so they will fall, but He knew in His foreknowledge that people would trust in their work. That stone is Jesus. Trust in Him. That stone is Jesus. And it's placed in front of us. And the question I have to ask, who will you trust in? Will you trust in yourself? Will you trust in man? Or will you trust in what God says in the Bible? Will you trust in the promises? And that's why we have the Bible. A Bible full of promises, a book full of promises for us to trust in, not to try to work to obtain. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with y'all. Hopefully, read on your own, see what God open your eyes to. But I pray that God would just touch somebody with this word and just really just free people from a life of just trying so hard to obtain this or trying so hard to get this. No, let God work and you, and I ain't saying be lazy or anything, but just let God work. Let God bring about what He said He gonna bring about, and trust that He will. So yeah, y'all have a nice day, and God bless y'all.